we have your undivided attention on a weekend when the awesomely almighty millionaires in the NFL are playing for the billionaires who own the teams. How about we dive into an edition of Aztecs All In? Steve Perez saying hello to Louis Weiner, who earlier this week sent me a text message that said, and I quote, never mind. Let's high road this one and just get on the coconut wireless and say, hello, Louis.
Hey, Steve, both the men's and women's basketball teams are playing some of their best ball of the season, with the women's team remaining undefeated in conference play after winning its 10th straight game.
All right, let's stay on that high road, Louis, and get into the big enchilada of the weekend on Montezuma Mesa, where the Aztecs took on a sturdy New Mexico Lobos team in a Mountain West Conference showdown at Viejas on Saturday. You just might call it a pivotal one. The Aztecs come in 12-4 overall, a perfect six-game winning streak in conference play, one of their best offensive teams in recent history, 81.9 points a game. B.J. Davis, team high 11-8 a game. Miles Byrd's playmaking, defense, rebounding, scoring, and emotional fire. When you combine that with the very deep and talented bench that the Aztecs have, formidable foe at home. Going into the week, they'd gritted out a road win in Nevada, a triple OT thriller over Boise State before that at home. Louis will be along later for how they managed in their last rodeo in Laramie earlier in the week. Lobos, for their part, 14-3 overall, 5-1 in the conference. A decided local flavor to the Lobos with this team, Louis. They have Jake Hall leading the scoring, 14.6 per game on a team averaging 80.8. Starts as a freshman out of Carlsbad High. He originally committed to UC San Diego, but then followed UC San Diego coach Eric Olin to Albuquerque when he got the Lobos job. There's Luke Hopt, a local kid as well. He's a graduate transfer from Point Loma Nazarene, played his high school ball at St. Augustine. This game, Lobos, though, without injured Chris Howell, who also comes to New Mexico from UC San Diego as a senior transfer. Named Hustle Player of the Big West last season, start for Torrey Pines High School. Last guy to mention is a 23-year-old freshman named Tomislav Buljan from Croatia. Oh, they got to be calling him Beef at the Pit, because that's what I'm going to go with. Tomislav, don't call me Beef, Buljan. Recruited by a member of the coaching staff that Olin brought with him to Albuquerque, international recruiting coach Tom Tankelowitz. Now, Buljan, or Beef as we're calling him, he played professionally in Europe for Croatia's team for a year, also played for Croatia's national youth team, got a look from a German pro team as well. Interweb's line on his play is, as said at the outset, 23 years old and, by the NCAA rules, a freshman. He's a machine on the boards, leads the Mountain West in rebounding, and is money around the basket. They've recently had rough road upsets at Colorado State, a convincing home win against Wyoming, and a tough road loss to Boise State. And word of an upset before the game. Number 23 Utah State tagged with their first conference loss at the home of the Grand Canyon Jackalopes in Phoenix. So, even more on the line in this rivalry clash. Teams have played 25 times since San Diego State's on-campus arena was built. UNM has 8 wins there, tied for most of any visitor with UNLV and BY. So, first half, here we go. All right, the Aztecs turn it over after winning the opening tip. They get a stop. Goon is starting. He gets fouled inside, makes both free throws. We're off and running. Lobos, though, cannot hit the deep threes early. Aztecs have an intense perimeter defense going, obviously playing a role. It's an aggressive pace by the Aztecs. We will find out later the Lobos are more than capable of matching it. Reese Dixon-Waters fouled on the break off a turnover. He made 1 of 2, and we will later learn just how important it is to make those 15-foot shots from the free throw line. Before that, though, on the home side, the big concern early is Guath out favoring his left hip. There was an early highlight reel sequence from Byrd. Obviously, he's geared up for this game. Coast-to-coast action starts with a big block on one end, grabbing the loose ball, and then driving the length of the court and banking it in with a pack of Lobos inside, unable to defend. Goon's back out on the bench after some work on that right wheel. At the 15-11 mark, Lobos come out of the break, grabbing a three-pointer by Hall. Byrd is quick to answer with 2 points. We're tied at 10 apiece. Quick glance at the free throw shooting stats. Lobos 2 of 2, Aztecs 3 of 6. At the 13:52 mark, Hall with stellar shooting. A 4-point play after knocking down another three, getting fouled by Pharaoh Compton. Lobos have found their range from the three-point line. They are up 17-12. College basketball, Mountain West style, these teams are putting on a show, mostly on offense. 11:33 left in the half. Tosh DeGorville ties things up with the three, but Lobos back down court real quick, sink another three. This one by Antonio Chol, one of the top 10 three-point shooters in the conference. We'll get to the second media break at 10:58. Lobos lead 22-19 in a fast-paced game to this point. I checked the team free throw stats at the 8:43 mark. Lobos leading by 4. They are 7 of 8. Aztecs 5 of 9. Aztecs have always played like a team that don't need no stinking free throws. And there's another big play by Byrd, stealing a Lobos pass. He's fouled before the shot to prevent an easy fast break two. Playing fired up ball, firing up the Viejas crowd. Aztecs have evened it up going into the timeout. 28 all, 7:52 left in the half. Byrd makes them both. Aztecs use that to power a run, and they also happen to be in the double bonus. Lobos picking up fouls like whoever that chick was singing about picking up pawpaws in the pawpaw patch. The Javis Miller gets a nasty-looking one just outside of 5 minutes left in the half. He catches Byrd in the nose on an upward swipe of the ball. Refs review it, decree it to be a common foul. Crowd doesn't like the call, but Byrd back to the line, making them both. Lead is 8. Foul trouble, a big advantage for the Aztecs going against the Lobos team that, as we've said, has an 8-man row. 14-3 run for the Aztecs as they build a 7-point lead, 3:47 mark. DeGorville catches the Lobos napping with the help of a screen, knocks down a three inside of 2 minutes left. The lead is 10. Inside of 30 seconds left in the half, Pharaoh Compton with a wriggling, jiggling inside score on an offensive rebound. The lead is 13. Lobos stopped on their final possession, and it's 48-35. Aztecs of the half, 23 of those points off the bench. It's Byrd soaring with 10 points, 6 rebounds, but 10 other not-so-little Aztecs doing their part. Dixon-Waters, 8 points, 5 boards. Aztecs holding the lead for the majority of the half. It's double digits at the half. Can they sustain the effort against a sweating, foul-troubled 8-man rotation where Beef is so far held in check, just 2 points, 4 rebounds. Chol's their leading scorer with 9 on 3 of 5 attempts from downtown. We said again, it's college basketball, Mountain West style. Another 20 minutes left to play. Early in the second half, there's Hall staring into the show from the free throw line after being fouled by Elsie Harrington. After Byrd lets the basketball fly away. He'll make 1 of 2. Byrd follows with a 3. 51-36 the score, but Hall answers quickly with a 3 of his own. Beef follows with a layup after another Aztec turnover, and the lead is 10. Another Aztec turnover converted by the Lobos into a point by Luke Haupt. Leads down to 7. They'll continue scoring. Aztecs continue giving the ball away, and with 17:09 left to play, Aztecs coach Brian Dutcher wants a timeout as he is seen enough. The lead's down to 5. Careless ball handling by his players, and I'm sure they're hearing about it in the huddle. Shades of that Boise State game where they blew the big lead before having to win in triple OT at Viejas. And might I add, whatever Dutch is saying to these guys that they have at home, they need to get reworked in some way. Aztecs with 4 turnovers in the first 4 minutes, 30 seconds of play. And right out of that 30-second break, Goon's pass is stolen by Beef, who beats feet down court for a slam dunk. The lead is 3 now. Big play on the next possession as Haupt commits his 4th foul. He was guarding Byrd, who takes advantage by knocking down a 3 against a fresh replacement. Moments later, Beef again catching fire with the inside game. It's briefly a 2-point game. Aztecs come right back, though, with a quick 2 of their own. Compton comes up with a steal. Olin upset that he got away with a foul on a breakaway too, but the Aztecs cannot keep Beef off the glass on either side of the court. Byrd picks up his 3rd foul. 13:02 left. It's 61-58 after 2 made Denton Albury free throws. Lobos obviously told to come out in the second half, push the pace, and see what the Aztecs have got. They've outscored the Aztecs 25-15. They're getting turnovers, and they are out-rebounding the home team to this point, 8-3. Aztecs have also committed 5 fouls. New Mexico just 1. 11:44 mark at 63-60. And you got to wonder what Steve Fisher is thinking about with the defense on display at the home court. He's in the arena watching a program he's built on ALS Day. Of course, his son Mark has it. He's still assistant to the head coach after 24 years, diagnosed with ALS in 2013. Now, Aztecs come out of the break, and B.J. Davis commits his 4th foul. Aztecs seem to be attempting quick shots on offense. They are not going in. 10:35 left. Hall misses a chance to tie the game from the free throw line after being fouled on a successful foray into the paint. Inside of 10 minutes we go, and on the Aztecs end of the court on offense, Guath is flagged for a foul inside. He tried to get a Lobo off of him with a high push, and he'll take a seat with 3 fouls. Aztecs still hold the lead, but it's down to 3, 2, 1, and back and forth at that level. The game moves inside of 8 minutes. Another great sequence, though, for the highlight reel involving Byrd on a fast break. Miles Heide steals one, a turnover at 5:28 that ends with an aerial Byrd assist to Elsie Harrington, 71-68. Lots of entertaining action, but let's just move on to the point where Hop ties it up with a 3 at the 4-minute mark. Officially anyone's ball game. I mean, the Lobos, you've got a team used to playing at elevation, so maybe there is not such a disadvantage for them playing with an 8-man rotation at sea level. They sure are winning the game on the boards 16-9 at this point. Compton fouled on a make. He cannot hit the free throw. Beef with the rebound and a dunk at the other end. Aztecs almost lose the ball with the score tied 75 all. They will come back with a jam by Heide, though, 77-75. 2:55 left. Timeout, Lobos. Again, Beef with a huge rebound on the offensive glass. He's fouled on the putback but misses the free throw. It's 77 all. Tick, tick, tick goes the clock. There is no scoring until, don't call me Beef. I'm calling him Beef. Bouillon comes up with a steal. 1:13 left. Slams it home. He's fouled. 1:11 left in the game. The Lobos will lead 79-77. He will miss the free throw. Aztecs will need a score. What they didn't really need was a foul on Heide committed by Beef in a one-on-one situation with the Aztecs down by 2. Time now at a premium. Gotta love Heide, but he's a career 34% free throw shooter. Here he's been working on his stroke, though. He will knock down the first. Man, the place got quiet all of a sudden before that. The second one, write it down. 2 for 2 from the line for Heide. What a clutch delivery for the big man. 79-79's the score. And man, Lobos now have the ball after a 30-second timeout. There's a rueful smile on the face of Coach Dutcher on the sidelines. Wouldn't want to be his cardiologist, but kudos to Dutch for just enjoying the moment, huh? Aztecs will knock it out of bounds with 15 on the shot clock, and then a most extraordinary series of fortunate events for the Aztecs. On the inbound, Beef will end up with the ball, and Miles Byrd, facing away from him, appears to simply just turn around and take the ball away. There's 27 seconds left. Davis has the ball. The clock's ticking down until he hits a tough mid-range jumper off the backboard, contested with 10 seconds left. The Lobos miss a quick short jumper on their end. The Aztecs lead this one 81-79. There's a foul on Reese just outside of 2 seconds left. He will knock them both down for a 4-point lead. And Coach Olin, what play do you have in your book to make up 4 points in 2.4 seconds, huh? It's been known to happen on the made 3 and a foul, but Lobos' Uriah Tennant makes it academic. He'll step on the line while trying to get the ball inbound and turn the ball over. They will then foul Heide with 1.4 ticks left. He misses this one, but there's no time left. It's academic. It's an 83-79 survival for the first-placed Aztecs, the only undefeated team in the Mountain West. They are 7-0. Byrd, the stat leader for the home team, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 blocks. Beef Bouillon gave any Aztecs contemplating a post-college career in Europe a sneak peek at what they are in for. He had 20 points, 14 rebounds, 4 steals of his own. Lobos 5-2 in the Mountain West. Afterward, Byrd talked about his defensive mindset, converting into offensive success, and those crazy closing moments of this game.
Every time I'm good on the defensive end, it kind of translates to the other side and, just kind of gets me in the rhythm. And, obviously tonight, three steals, 4 blocks. So, you know, it's definitely a translation between, or a correlation between the defensive end to the offensive end. I mean, I could hear the whole entire coaching staff from the other end telling me to be solid. You know, that's something that they talk to me a lot about, being solid and not out there gambling. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just energy, running around, fixing mentality, trying to make plays, and you know, I just happened to be in the right position multiple times to, you know, make a play.
Reese Dixon-Waters also in the interview room. He was no slouch on the stat sheet. 10 points that include being 5 of 6 from the free throw line. A team leading 9 rebounds, and like all the players, so many little things that don't show up on the stat sheet. But the Aztecs don't win without him and the rest of the team doing them. A lot of it comes down to what Byrd and Reese and Coach Dutcher call grit. Yeah, call it a gutty win, whatever you want to call it, a combination of mental toughness and focusing on the next play no matter the score and what happened before. Also, there's always room for improvement.
We said the same things in the locker room, like we up big right now. You know they're going to come punch back, but Mountain West basketball is hard. And this New Mexico team's talented, Boise's talented. So you know, I mean, everybody got pride playing the sport, so they're going to try to punch back as well. I think we were able to kind of pull in ourselves a little bit more this game just because we've been through this at the crib before. But at the end of the day, you know, I think it was just grit and mental toughness at the end of the game that was what pulled us on top at the end.
Yeah, we still got a long way to go, though, but, I mean, I think we're doing pretty good right now. But this isn't the top. Like, this isn't where we're trying to be. We're trying to get better.
I told him before the game we cannot have double-digit turnovers. And we won the game with 16 turnovers because New Mexico had 17. So I'm sure that's the first thing they're talking about. You know, my gosh, if we get shots, we're going to score. And they turned it over 17 and we turned it over 16 because both teams played hard and competed at a high level. Some decisions from both teams weren't what a coach would want, but both teams were able to overcome that and continue to compete to the end of the game. Neither one dropped their head. Both teams competed at a high level trying to win. And it's hard to win. That's what we're out of there to do. So we were able to, even BJ, threw a cross-court pass away at a really critical time of the game and then came down and made a basket. You know, so you have to have a next play mentality. You have to put mistakes out of your mind. If you dwell on them, you won't be ready to make the play when it's in your hands at the end. And Heidi made 2 free throws. I don't know if they fouled him on purpose or not. I don't know if they just fouled him or they fouled him on purpose. So if they fouled him on purpose analytically, he made them pay. He made 2 very critical free throws with the game on the line to tie the game. And then Reese made 2 critical free throws to make it a 2-possession game. So a gutty win to put us atop the Mountain West. And now we go on the road again for 2 more road games.
All right, Lewis, those road games not easy. Wednesday playing those Lopes on their home court where they have just defeated number 23 Utah State. Then a Saturday game at UNLV. Thanks to the Mountain West and GoAztecs.com for that post-game sound. Now we go over to Lewis for a look back at Wednesday's game against the Cowboys, their final one at 7,220 feet before moving on to the Pac-12 next season. Lewis?
Steve, for a final time, the Aztecs traveled to Laramie, Wyoming, as members of the Mountain West Conference to face the Cowboys and played their best overall game of the year in a 74-57 win. With metrics playing a key part in any chance the Aztecs have at getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, they haven't done a very good job this season of holding big leads late against inferior teams. But that wasn't the case in Laramie. The Aztecs took control of this one midway through the first half and never looked back. Early on in this one, the Aztecs were able to score some easy buckets thanks to their fast break success. They got off to an early 4-2 lead on a Miles Heidi slam off a long pass from Miles Byrd. And then at the 8-minute mark of the first half, it was the 2 freshmen, LZ Harrington and Tay Simmons, putting on a show as LZ threw the ball the length of the court, where Simmons slammed it home for the bucket that gave the Aztecs an 18-14 lead. Wyoming kept it close, trailing by just 3 at 2017 with 6:55 left in the first half. But then the Aztecs went on a scoring binge, going on an 8-0 run to take a 28-17 lead. Over a 5-minute stretch, the Aztecs actually outscored the Cowboys 19-4. And the Aztecs kept the pressure on for the rest of the half, topping it off with a B.J. Davis coast-to-coast drive with 6 seconds left to score at the buzzer, giving the Aztecs a 38-25 halftime lead. Of course, teams are going to make a run, and that's what the Cowboys did coming out of halftime, working the ball inside for a couple of easy slam dunks. And when Nasir Meyer hit a three to make it 45-33, Wyoming got another easy bucket on a fast break, and they were within 10 at 45-35. It got so bad during that Wyoming run that Coach Brian Dutcher tried to get Elsie Harrington's attention to call a timeout, but he got confused and threw the ball away. Byrd tried valiantly to save it, but it was a turnover. But that timeout helped calm the Aztecs down, and they followed with a 14-3 run to take their biggest lead of the game at that point, 59-38. The Aztecs were able to stretch that lead to 24 points before Wyoming scored the final 7 points of the game to make it a 17-point Aztecs win. As you can expect, the Aztecs dominated the stat sheet, shooting 50% for the game and holding Wyoming to just 31%. Playing at altitude, you knew the Aztecs bench would play a big part, and that's exactly what happened, with the Aztecs scoring 34 off the bench, led by Tay Simmons with 10 points. Wyoming had just 12 bench points. Reese, Dixon-Waters, and Miles Byrd led the Aztecs scoring with 13 and 12 points. The Aztecs won the turnover battle 11-10, and while rebounds were even at 34 apiece, the Aztecs pulled down 4 more offensive boards than the Cowboys, leading to a total of 34 points in the paint. This was the Aztecs' 14th straight win against Wyoming, and Dutcher improves to 14-1 overall against the Cowboys, including a 5-1 mark in Laramie. Steve, the Aztecs defense is really coming around. They gave up just 25 first-half points and now have limited 7 of 16 opponents to 30 or fewer points in the first half, and the Aztecs are 6-1 in those games, with the only loss coming to number 1 ranked Arizona. And Steve, we know how much you love those metrics. The 17-point road win in a game the Aztecs were favored by 1.5 points gave them a huge boost in the NCAA net ranking, catapulting them from 64 all the way up to 50. And according to ESPN bracketologist Joe Lunardi, the Aztecs are now listed as a next 4 out team in regards to getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament.
Well now, as an obviously inferior yet valiant member of Aztecs All In, according to the Schmetrics, how about we go back to Louis for more stats and recaps from the Aztec women's side of things, where they played some bonus ball in Las Vegas on a Saturday. Oh, Louis?
Steve, the Aztec women's basketball team went to Vegas today, tied with UNLV for first place in the Mountain West Conference, both undefeated at 7-0, but only one of those teams is now 8-0, and that's the Aztecs. After a 75-66 win in overtime, they're now 14-3 overall. Aztecs could have won it in regulation, but Kennedy Lee missed 2 free throws with 1.3 seconds left, with the game tied at 63. The Lady Rebels had the ball with a second left, but couldn't get a shot off, and the game went to overtime. The Aztecs led this game comfortably, 60-52, when Naomi Panganaban hit a jumper with 3:27 left. But the Rebels went on a frantic 10-0 run to take the lead. Panganaban 3 gave the Aztecs a 1-point lead with 41 seconds left, 63-62. But UNLV tied it with a free throw, and the Aztecs couldn't take advantage of those free throws at the end of regulation. In overtime, the Aztecs dominated, outscoring the Rebels 12-3 to win their 10th straight game. Just days earlier at Viejas Arena, the Aztecs beat New Mexico 73-56 in front of a record-breaking field trip crowd of 8,054. Steve, the Aztecs have a midweek bye, and they will try to make it 11 straight next Saturday with a 1 p.m. tip-off at Viejas Arena against San Jose State. And that will do it for this edition of Aztecs All In. Thank you so much for listening in. Please follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You can also drop us a line, aztecsallin@gmail.com. Follow us on the X, Aztecs_all_in. So until next time, for Steve Perez, I'm Louis Weiner. So long.